I like to start with what I know and then work towards what I don't know. I wanted to take the formality of the house and the informality of the woods and kind of make the two combine. I'd like to show you how not to mulch around a tree. It's a step that I see very few landscapers doing. You want to make sure to have variation in your heights. Look at how lovely this is. We just cued the butterfly to come in. How we doing today, folks? I got a bit of a late start today. I had to go pick up the materials for the drip edge. So I got some metal edging over here, and then I also got some gravel in the truck. So I know yesterday I said I was going to focus on spreading the rest of the topsoil. I don't think it's going to rain for a while, and I'd rather go ahead and hit the drip edge while I'm fresh. So we're going to do that first, and judging by the time of the day, it might be all we get done today. I usually install a drip edge in two situations. The first situation, and a drip edge is nothing more than some gravel by the house, and I'll usually put a piece of metal around the outside. And I'll usually install a drip edge for two reasons. The first reason is if the grade is very close to the height of the siding, and I want to have something so I can put a piece of drip edge, and then I can lower the grade behind the drip edge, this piece of metal edging, and put some gravel over there. That's what I'll use it for. The other circumstance where I'll use a drip edge is if there's just drips from the house that I don't want to splash up onto the siding of the house. Normally I don't really need a drip edge for splashes, but when we came to look at the job this spring, there's something going on with the gutter. There was definitely some water overspilling the gutters. So we're going to go ahead and install a drip edge just to be safe. If you notice a difference with my voice, in my household we have 4 people. And of the 4 people, 3 of us now have a summer cold. It was starting yesterday, and it's definitely, you know, I am sick. So hopefully there won't be too many coughing fits while we're working, and we'll just take it as it comes. The way you know you're sick is when you go to the drugstore to buy some medicines, and you see a bag of Halls, and you put one of those Halls in your mouth, and they actually taste good. Usually I don't like the taste of Halls, but boy, when you're sick, it really feels great on my throat. So right in front of the house here is where we're going to install the drip edge, and I'm going to install the drip edge 30 inches out from the concrete. That should be enough so that the water is going to drip into the edge and make sure we control those drips. If I was doing a drip edge just to control the grade, I only usually come out about a foot or so. Now I find it's much easier to measure for a drip edge if you just take a piece of wood, cut it to the right length, and then I can just use that as my measuring stick against the foundation. It's a real pain to be fussing around with a tape measure. I could have just as easily used, you know, just taken a stick and cut it to 30 inches. That board is actually a board, I did a chainsaw milling series last winter, and that's a piece of cherry that I milled. I actually made that board last winter, and it's nice and dry now. It's really, it's a nice piece of wood. So I got to work that in. I feel like my milling was all worth the effort because I got a chance to use a board. And then I've got some pry bars here we're going to use. I've got a 3-pound sledge. I've got some black spray paint, some spikes for the edging, tape measure. I've got my square over here, and then I've got a gray Sharpie. The first thing we're going to do is to just mark this and go ahead and cut off this end so I can put this piece flush against the side of the steps here. If I need to, I can always put a couple spikes a little bit farther back. There's actually a couple cinder blocks on the edge here, so I know these spikes wouldn't go in, but I'd rather put this flush so it can control the mulch from going under or the stone from going under as well. And my plan, you know, it took me a while to figure this one out, was I was thinking of just running it along the foundation here and then just stopping it at the house. And then yesterday I was considering having it come a little bit farther around. But I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to come straight down the front of the house, and then there's this little structure back here. So I think I'm going to come right off the corner of that structure where the concrete is and come up, and then I'll put another piece in the back there, and I'll just do all gravel over here and over here, because no one's ever going to really plant in here anyways. And truth be told, you don't really want to be planting, you know, closer than about 30 inches to a house anyways. So this will all just be gravel back here, but then we will have some plants in front, and as the plants grow in, they'll actually kind of come work their way over the back of the planting. This is going to be a tricky corner to cut because I've got to have my piece coming outside the foundation, but it's very hard to find a reference mark as far as measuring how far out it is. So what I did is I laid my level down, and my level is going to measure, it's pretty much parallel to the edge of the foundation. So if I measure from the outside of the level back to the other piece, that tells me how much I need there. And then I measured from the house, the foundation of the house, to the corner of the structure over here, and that's 35 inches. So I know if I take these two measurements and add them together, I'm going to have the right length. But I still, this foundation, because there's a pipe here, it's very hard to read. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this piece a couple inches longer. I'll just put it in loosely, see how she looks, and then I can cut, I'll lay the level in and see if lay the level on the right line and see if it looks right. If it looks right, I'll mark it and cut it right there. Now, edging normally is installed where it's nice and flat, so this piece of edging is going to be a little bit tricky. The grade starts to taper down here, and we're just going to kind of go with it. I know once I put my stones in and once I put my mulch in, you really won't notice if there's a little bit of a gap in the edging or if there's a little bit of sway to it. So what we're just going to do is kind of go with it, do the best we can, and I promise you by the time the job is done, you won't know the difference. So we got the edging and the gravel in, and I'm feeling pretty good about the way things came out. And I'm just going to go ahead and take a break, and then I'll start spreading the topsoil left on the driveway on the hillside over here. The gravel I used was 1 1/4. It's called 1 1/4 native mix, which would basically be stone from around this area. It's got a brownish color to it, and I like the brownish color because the gravel I've got back there isn't supposed to be a focal point. It's there more for the function than for the aesthetic. So I really want it to blend into the background. And the other thing about the gravel is I did get 1 1/4 gravel. And that's really the smallest size I'd recommend for a drip edge, because you want your drip edge to have heavy stones, so when you're in there with a leaf blower, or if there's a downpour and your gutters are full and the water's coming out, you don't want the water or the leaf blowers to blow that gravel out. Overall, I'm quite pleased with the way things came out. And I do just have one piece on the other side I need to pick up for tomorrow. Let me just show you. So we're 30 inches out, and that's the 1 1/4 native mix. And once we get the mulch in, it's going to really just blend in, you know. I think it blends in pretty good now. We did pretty good at keeping things straight. I think that's well within acceptable tolerances. And again, once the mulch is there, I'm going to have some shrubs planted pretty much against the edging, because we are a good 30 inches away. So even if the shrubs grow over, that's perfectly fine. I left myself a little bit of gravel there, so tomorrow I'll pick up a piece of edging. I'll cut it before I come here, paint the ends. All I have to do is just ding that piece of edging in between these 2 points over here, spread the gravel, and we're all set over there.